What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and welcome on back to Mass Effect. So after the last episode's bombshells with Saren, time to get this Nuke on deck and get the hell out of here. We're gonna stop whatever's going on here, and maybe we can catch Saren in the crossfire if we're fast enough. Although, given that this thing is a ship that's wiped out every single species in the galaxy for 50,000 year cycles for millions of years, I don't even know if a nuke would even make a dent. The kind of technology that ship must have to have survived all those battles and all those warfare things. And think about this too. All the technology that we have in the galaxy, we have by Reaper design. And if they get to decide what kind of technology we have so they can come harvest us and annihilate us whenever they want, you gotta assume that all this stuff is designed to put us at a huge disadvantage, right? The game is rigged from the start. All our weapons fire, all our mass effect shields, the propulsion systems of our ships, like that's all designed by them essentially. So they know exactly what we got. They know how we operate. They know what we have. They know how the weapons work, how to get around those, how to get around our shields, how to manipulate all our systems, how to affect our virtual intelligences, because we don't even have real AIs to combat their AIs. We just have VIs, and the AI is going to have a field day with a VI, man. It'll have it doing, like, jumping jacks in the comm room, right? The whole system is rigged for us to lose with minimal resistance. The odds are widely stacked against us. Everything we have is because they said so, and because they wanted it that way. But we gotta somehow turn that around into our favor. Which is why I said a while ago in this Let's Play now that one of the very most important things here in this game is Shepard's will. And humanity as a whole, right? So we've had Liara talking about how remarkably strong-willed Shepard is every single time we've taken the Protean cipher, every single time we've had to deal with something that would have broken a lesser mind, right? All the times they've talked about humanity's bull-headed determination to achieve their goals, to get things done. The thing that the Reapers can't account for and rig, so to speak, here we are, we have 50 slots left before we run out of space. The thing the Reapers can't rig, that they can't set up and completely account for, is the individuality of organic life. Because it's not run through programs, it's not run through metrics like AI is, right? That's all coded, you can follow the path, you know what it's going to do. The unpredictability and the chaos of organic life, as he called it, like what they're doing is bringing order to the chaos of organic evolution. Well, that chaos is the only advantage we have, because we can be very hard to predict. We can make sacrifices, we can make judgments that won't necessarily make sense to a logical AI. Like, we'll sacrifice a garrison to save 10 men on a rescue mission, right? Just because no man left behind. An AI would never do that. An AI would look at the numbers and be like, why would we risk 10 for... Why would we risk 100 for 10? That's not possible. But humans will throw everything into a last-ditch fight just because we don't want to say... We're not going to take no for an answer. That's what the Reapers can't account for. That's our only advantage here, because every tool we have, designed by them for us so that they can peel us, right? Even the seat of Galactic Council space, the whole thing, the whole chain of command in the galaxy, which is the Citadel, that wasn't made by us. That wasn't founded by us, not even by the Protheans. That's Reaper tech too. So they have us all sitting pretty right on the slaughtering pit, right? Like lambs to the slaughter, literally. They've led us into a pen where they can keep us nice and tight, make sure that we don't cause too many problems, and then they can come wipe us out. We have no advantage here. Aside from the fact that we're unpredictable. The thing that they want to wipe out is the thing that gives us the advantage. But it's going to take that human ingenuity, that organic, chaotic ingenuity, right? The will to get shit done. That's why that stuff is so important in this game, because that's literally the only advantage. Which is such a cool concept, man. And now that you've got a taste of a Reaper, and you kind of know what they're about at this point, that means we can start discussing why I think they're the coolest villain in sci-fi history. They know everything about you. They've literally raised you like a cow, basically. We're cattle. We're being herded to the slaughter by a cow herder, essentially. That's what the Reapers are. And the human are just cattle. We've been raised like lambs or cows to be fat, and now they're coming to collect the fat, juicy steaks. And I actually just died. That's unfortunate. Alright, so let's hit you with Overload to get your shields down. I'm gonna overkill. I can't afford to die here again. I'm gonna kind of get out of the way of that. See, it almost one-shot Rex, and Rex is not to be fucked with. Alright, so you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that, and I guess I'll do this. I want everybody attacking him too. Kinda found a way to finesse this. Here we go. Again, it's always the drones that get you, man, like I said. It's easy to deal with the Gaff and everybody else, but as soon as there's rocket drones, I take deaths. They always kick my ass. That's why the Luna mission is so stressful. I'm sure you'll realize that when you were watching me play that out, but that's the toughest missions for me, when there's a bunch of drones like that. And at the very end of this, before we wrap up this campaign, we're gonna have to do the Comet mission too, which has a absolute metric fuck ton of drones to deal with. Okay, before we get to that, we're gonna take those. I think that frictionless we just got is of a higher order. Yeah, it is. 7 damage and 28. So we're gonna sink both of those high tier frictionless on my guns. And now it's doing even more damage and even more cooldown, so we're about to get busy now. Yeah, this just not gonna overheat anymore. Don't fall for this little cheeky trap that I almost just fell for. Yeah, you're all gonna go to the afterlife. There we go.
Now it's our turn.
Got that gun taken down for pure heat too. Isn't it beautiful to see the lack of overheating now? I mean, look at this. Look at the bar on the bottom left. Look how much that barely moves. We basically have an LMG with infinite ammo at this point. It's fucking nuts. It's all on RNG though. There's no guaranteed way to get frictionless like that. You're either lucky enough to get them or you're not. I actually had a bad RNG run this time around. Usually, I get frictionless materials quite fast. The same with chem rounds. Like, I've gotten chem rounds on Eden Prime before from the first crate. Sometimes you get really lucky. Sometimes you just gotta hold the L. But we got our max loadout now, pretty much. The only thing we're having a bad time on, I think, is heavy armor for Shepard. Let me look into that real quick. Just for the sake of how tough this mission is. Let me see. This is pretty desperate. Yeah, that's pretty. We'll switch to that right now. Maybe I haven't just looked at this in so long that I thought I had been getting bad look at this, but maybe it's actually crazy. It's Onyx, that's not that good. This is heavy. Do we have any Colossus? No, we do not. Alright, let's look into this. So, medical exoskeleton is going to be 65 toxin and power cooldown. We crank the medical interface, we'll get that toxin resistance and the health regeneration per second. But I kind of like the fact that I'm getting cooldown from that. So that's shield recovery and hardening. Smash damage, hardening, and physics threshold. What other options do we have here? Energized plane, that's damage protection. Let's stick the exoskeleton in for that one. And then... what is this? The medical interface VI, I assume, is what we're using. So do we have a better version of this? Yeah, that'll be the one. Medical exoskeleton. And since we got you guys here on deck, let's go ahead and do that for everybody else here too. Medical exoskeleton. And then we'll give the last one to Liara since she's one of my mainstays. Let's stick that in here. Where is it? There it is. And then what are you using here? Ablative coating. That's just 16% damage protection. Let's see if we can't give you something that reduces your cooldowns. Shield recovery, mobile accuracy. Kinetic exoskeleton could be good. Energized weave. Yeah, let's do the kinetic exoskeleton for her. Let's just get her shields back up fast, because she doesn't have much of a balance point. Oh, well, that's going to help, though, isn't it? Yeah, look at the shields on that thing. You are basically immune to damage at this point, Liara. Congratulations. You have almost the same amount of shields as the Mako.
That's it. We need to clear the gap and set those charges.
Hate these things. Like that. Hey, you happy little bastard. There we go. The overheat ability they do drives me insane.
Charge is set. Everyone bunker down. Bunker down.
Here's the bomb site.
All right! Nice work. That's one less thing to worry about. Commander, I'm bringing us in. I'll get as close to the site as I can.
Come on down. Get to see the bird flying in all its glory here in a second. There she is. If you wanted a size reference for the needle holes he's threading this thing through. Handle with care.
Bomb is in position. We're all set here.
Commander, do you read me?
The nuke is almost ready, Lieutenant. Get to the rendezvous point.
Negative, Commander. The Geth have us pinned down on the AA tower. We've taken heavy casualties. We'll never make the rendezvous point in time.
Get them out of there, Joker. Now!
Negative. It's too hot. You can't risk it. We'll hold them off as long as we...
It's okay, Commander. I need a couple of minutes to finish arming the nuke. Go get them and meet me back here.
Absolutely. If the Normandy can't do it, we'll do it.
Move.
We just fought through the entire stronghold. It's because the Normandy can't make it, doesn't mean we can't. We have a Krogan. Which is kind of like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe when he says we have a Hulk. Well, the Mass Effect version of that is we have a Krogan. Our Krogan is worth 10 of your Krogan. Get them with that. We can get these happy little shits to bounce down into that. Liara do that. You're gonna warp it. Okay, I need you to stop. Adrenaline burst. Now we get our shields back. Now we're gonna overkill. This guy's gonna die. Krogan regeneration is not to be fucked with. The Warlord. He's gonna be the big beefer. But big beefers can't do anything when they're in the sky. That is why I love biotics. Good riddance. 1000 XP for that guy too. That's enough fucking around. We gotta get to Kaidan. He's got to be close, right? The AA tower was right on site. Because the one that we took was literally on the elevator shaft, so it's got to be up here somewhere.
Damn. Geth are sending in reinforcements.
Chief, we just spotted a troop ship inbound to your location.
It's already here, and it's bleeding Geth all over the bomb site.
Can you hold them off?
There's too many! I don't think we can hold them! I'm activating the nuke!
What are you doing, Chief?
Making sure this bomb goes off, no matter what!
And that's the stakes,
It's done,
how high the stakes are
Go
here.
get the lieutenant and get the hell out of here!
This mission is that important.
Belay that. We can handle ourselves. Go back and get Williams.
This is the burdens of command, and I pray to God that I am never in a situation to decide something like this. But when we break this down, the nuke is important. Geth are artificial intelligence. They can disable that. They can shut that down. If that bomb site is overrun, the nuke gets shut down. Kaidan dies potentially anyway because he's at the AA tower, and all of this was for nothing. Kirihi's men, everybody we just killed inside the facility, that all means nothing if this bomb doesn't go off. This is not a choice between Kaidan and Ash. This is a choice between the mission or, well, failing the mission. This is a choice between success and failure. The bomb takes priority, and whoever I leave with the bomb is who gets saved here because we gotta secure the bomb. The whole galaxy, trillions of lives is at stake here.
Williams, radio Joker and tell him to meet us at the bomb site.
Yes, Commander,
It's the right choice, and you know it, Ash.
Stay alive. I'll be coming to get you too, Kaidan.
I think we both know that's not gonna happen, Commander.
We'll see. It's not over till it's over. Maybe we can clear the bomb site in time and pick them up from the AA tower, right? You don't give up until there's no other option. If we can get back there, we'll get back there. It's always a tough choice, man. The burdens of command. You have two soldiers that are willing to die for it, right? They're both willing to sacrifice their lives without blinking. Neither of them has a problem with dying for this mission. So it's up to you to decide who gets to die for the mission, essentially. The main factor in my decision making with that is who's with the bomb. And Ashley is with the bomb, and we need to secure the bomb. That's the mission. Kaidan volunteered for this, knowing that he might die doing this, and there isn't really anything else to do here. The decision was made when he decided to volunteer for that mission, and the bomb came here. That's when the fate was decided. It has nothing to do with Ash versus Kaidan. And honestly, I wouldn't want it to be, because Oh, we died. Yeah, as I was saying, I wouldn't want it to be between Kaidan and Ash, because they both have such merit and value as characters into the team. I don't want to make that call, right? The fact that the Nuke is here makes that such an easier decision, because if we were talking strictly no tactical value at all, who do we save? Kaidan or Ash? I don't know who I would pick. I think Ash. Because simply for the fact that Kaidan volunteered. But that is such a tough choice, and I'm glad that I am not in a position where I would have to make those decisions on a regular basis. I can't imagine being a commander in the military or special forces or something where you have to make calls like that. You know, like, do you want your best friend to die, or do you want your really good friend to die? Ultimately, the mission has just got to take priority, which is a real bitter pill to swallow. Nope, you're not going to be killing me. I'm not running that back again, friend. Stick that head out. I'm sitting my ass right here. Maybe that'll encourage you to stick your head out. Stop it.
Commander, you need to set the nuke and get out. We can't hold! Left flank! Left flank! Suppressing fire! Suppressing...
And that's Kaidan fighting to the end. Like the savage he is. The toll Saren has to answer for just keeps increasing, huh? First time we've actually faced off with the man in person. We missed you on Eden Prime.
I applaud you, Shepard. My Geth were utterly convinced the Salarians were the real threat. An impressive diversion. Of course, it was all for nothing. I can't let you disrupt what I've accomplished here. You can't possibly understand what's really at stake.
Why are you doing this?
You've seen the vision from the beacons, Shepard. You of all people should understand what the Reapers are capable of. They cannot be stopped. Do not mire yourself in pointless revolt. Do not sacrifice everything for the sake of petty freedoms. The Protheans tried to fight, and they were utterly destroyed. Trillions dead. But what if they had bowed before the invaders? Would the Protheans still exist? Is submission not preferable to extinction?
He's fooling himself. Does he honestly believe that in all these millions of years of galactic extinction, nobody has ever tried to surrender? Nobody has ever had this exact thought process of just submitting, waving the white flag, surrendering for the sake of their own survival? Does he really think he's the first man in millions of years to have this idea? He's fooling himself. Of course, there will have been millions and trillions of lives that have surrendered, in hopes that they would be spared, even made themselves useful, like he's trying to be a useful tool so they'll spare the wrench, right? But that's not how that's gonna work.
Do you really believe the Reapers will let us live?
Now you see why I never came forward with this to the Council. We organics are driven by emotion instead of logic. We will fight even when we know we cannot win. But if we work with the Reapers, if we make ourselves useful, think how many lives could be spared.
Are you talking or the
As I
Reapers?
understood this, I joined Sovereign, though I was aware of the dangers. I had hoped this facility could protect me.
So he discovered this plot at some point. He managed to stumble upon, whether by Sovereign's design or by his abilities as a Spectre, but he stumbled upon all this. weighed the options and decided not to involve the council, decided not to include the galaxy. Now you gotta understand that there is one Reaper here. Sovereign said that there is many, many more, that they are legion. This is one. One Reaper is causing all this chaos, but it's still just one Reaper. If he had brought this to the council and everybody had teamed up against this Reaper would already be cooked. None of this would be happening. The only reason all this is happening is because this prick decided that he can decide the fate of trillions of lives in the galaxy. Because at the end of the day, he's a coward. And he's afraid to die. So he wants to submit. But he's not thinking clearly. This dude really thinks he's the megamind of, like, the entire galactic history, and he's the only person that's ever decided to placate them and try to make himself useful. I promise you, almost every species has had a faction that tried to surrender, and they've all been erased from history just like the rest.
You're afraid Sovereign is influencing you. You're afraid he's controlling your thoughts.
I've studied the effects of indoctrination. The more control Sovereign exerts, the less capable the subject becomes. That is my saving grace.
Notice all that blue tech in his body too.
My mind is still my own, for now. But the transformation from ally to servant can be subtle. I will not let it happen to me.
The implants in his eyes and his jaw, all the dermal implants in his skin, his biotic arm, he has so much tech in him. And that blue glow looks exactly like the blue glow on husks. I think he's been implanting himself with Reaper tech most of this time. He's almost certainly indoctrinated.
Why are the Geth following Sovereign?
They believe Sovereign to be some kind of god, the pinnacle of their own evolution. But the reaction of their deity is most telling. It is insulted. Sovereign does not desire the pitiful devotions the Geth hurl at it. They are just tools, and no amount of belief on their part will change that.
And yet you think belief on your part will change that?
They will survive the coming invasion. If organic life is to survive, we must also prove we are useful. We must work with the Reapers.
It's not how that works, Saren. Where are all the other people that would have done exactly what you did?
Tell me why Sovereign needs the conduit. Tell me what it is. Maybe we can find a way to stop them.
The conduit is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is the only reason I have not been indoctrinated.
You have almost certainly been indoctrinated, just with limitations, so that you can still kind of have your own will, so you can be effective as a Spectre. And you can see that in his dialogue, right? The things that he's saying doesn't make sense, but he believes them to be true because he's indoctrinated. Just subtly.
Sovereign's manipulating you and you don't even know it. You're already under its power.
No, Sovereign needs me. If I find the conduit, I've been promised a reprieve from the inevitable. This is my only hope.
Like I said, a coward. He's doing this to save his own skin, because he got his ass deeper than he could paddle, and now he's up shit creek without one. And so he's taken the only lifeline he can, right? Because now he's in a position where he either becomes completely indoctrinated, becomes a mindless husk, or he just, takes himself out, fights to the end and then dies. He's just afraid to die, so he's taking the coward's way out, waving the white flag. That's not going to happen for the rest of the galaxy. What if we have anything to say about it? That's like the famous speech, right? You don't go quietly into the night. If you're going to die, you're going to die, but you're going to do it independent and on your own terms. That's the human spirit. That's the chaotic, organic spirit that Sovereign is clearly so afraid of, and why he's so touchy about that. He just convinced Saren to turn against himself and his own interests. Not me.
Together we can stop Sovereign. We don't have to submit to the Reapers. We can beat them.
I no longer believe that, Shepard.
Seems like you never did.
Cannot be denied. The Reapers are too powerful. The only hope of survival is to join with them. Sovereign is a machine. It thinks like a machine. If I can prove my value, I become a resource worth maintaining. There is no other logical conclusion.
You are not a machine. You should be thinking with your emotion and your feelings and your tradition and your loyalty. You are thinking like a machine, which is part of the problem, and you're not useful. The logical conclusion to this is that he's no longer useful once he's served his purpose, which is finding the conduit and letting the Reapers in. The Reapers don't need Saren to kill the species of the galaxy when they arrive. So he's about to get rid of his own usefulness by completing this task. Again, he's just indoctrinated. He's not thinking straight.
You were a Spectre. You were sworn to defend the galaxy. Then you broke that vow to save
An
yourself.
oathbreaker and a coward, and he shot his brother Turian Spectre in the back.
I'm not doing this for myself. Don't you see? Sovereign will succeed. It is inevitable. My way is the only way any of us will survive.
Keep telling yourself that. It doesn't make it true.
Alliance between us and the Reapers, between organics and machines. And in doing so, I will save more lives than have ever existed. But you would undo my work. You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
And for this facility, for Nihilus, and for everything you want to achieve, you must die. Just kind of getting tired of hearing his voice anyway. We're gonna hit you with that, we're gonna hit you with that, we're gonna hit you with this. Saren's a beefy boy, as you can see. We're gonna make sure we keep hitting him with the good stuff, so you're gonna warp his ass. You're gonna hit that. I'm gonna get my shields back. And then I'm gonna pop Adrenaline Burst. Now I'm gonna pop this. I'm gonna take a chunk out of him while we can. Good close-up of all the synthetic implants in his face now. Remember how that tastes. You're gonna get more of this by the time the game's over. And it's a good job we came here back to the bomb, because Saren landing here would have choked the whole mission. He would have been able to turn this off. I genuinely believe that. Or the Geth. Thanks to Saren dragging us through time, though, we're not gonna have a chance to get Kaidan. That's on Saren too.
All right, everybody, hang on!
Rest in peace, Kaidan. Went out like a G though. Last stand on an AA tower for the fate of the galaxy.
Kaidan didn't make it. How could we just leave him down there?
Alenko knew the risks going in. He gave his life to save the rest of us.
It should have been me, Commander. You know that.
No, it really shouldn't have. It should have been whoever was best suited for the mission, which was Kaidan. You don't have a right to sacrifice yourself just because you have a family history.
It wasn't your call, Williams. I had to choose. I chose you.
I'm sorry, Commander. You saved my life. I'm grateful for that. But it should have been me. Alenko was a superior officer. I would have gladly stayed behind.
See, she's too eager to throw herself on the sword. She's not entitled to that. She doesn't get to throw her life away on a mission just because her grandfather got diced up in some political intrigue. We need you going forward. Kaidan was better suited and the bomb took priority. It's just the way the chips fell. It has nothing to do with you or him.
Ash, how far are you going to drive yourself? Are you trying to be a martyr? To redeem your grandfather's honor?
That's not fair.
But it's true.
What the public and the military did to him was unfair. But I don't want to lose a good soldier over it.
Aye, Commander.
Commander, excuse me for interrupting, but I have an idea. I think the beacon you found in Saren's base was similar to the one you found on Eden Prime. It may have filled in the missing pieces of your vision. I might be able to help you put all those pieces together.
Do it. We got a date to keep with Saren after what just happened.
You want to join our minds again, don't you? Okay, go ahead.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity. incredible. I never thought the images would be so intense. I need a moment to collect myself.
Did the vision make any sense to you?
It made a lot of sense to me.
A distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
It looked like they came out of dark space too, right? In the shadow of the sun.
What about the conduit?
There were other images, locations, places I recognized from my research. Ilos! The conduit is on Ilos! That is why Saren needed to find the Mu relay. It is the only way to get to Ilos.
And if we have that information, then Saren does too, because you know he hit the beacon he had way before we did, so he knows exactly where he's going to.
How come you never told us about Ilos before?
The Mu relay links to dozens of systems and hundreds of worlds. How was I to know Ilos was the one we wanted? Without the cipher, the images in your visions were never clear. Only now do I recognize them as landmarks from Ilos.
We need to get to Ilos.
Forget it. The Mu relay's inside the Terminus systems. Alliance ships are not welcome there. Neither are Spectres.
And we don't have a choice. We'll do what we gotta do.
The conduit's on Ilos, and that's where Saren is heading. I'll be waiting for him when he gets there.
Yeah, it's
Saren
personal
has
now.
his entire fleet orbiting Ilos. You will never make it down to the surface without reinforcements. You must alert the Council. We need a fleet to... I am sorry. The joining is exhausting. I should go to the medical bay and lie down for a moment.
We're done here. Dismissed.
Commander, there's a comm buoy nearby. I can link us in if you want to report back to the Citadel Council. You know, to warn them about Sovereign.
And the great voice acting from Joker right there. You hear that somber tone in his voice because we lost Kaidan. I love the voice acting and the tone of that. Because now it's personal, right? We lost a good friend now to Saren. It was all abstract before, galaxy this, universe this. Now it's something direct and personal. We lost a direct member of our team and somebody who's been with us from jump. Now it's personal.
Set the link up, Joker. They need to know.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, I'm pleased to see your mission on Vermar was a success.
Saren is formidable enough without an army of Krogan serving under him.
The Krogan would have served Sovereign. A Reaper.
Yes, we saw mention of this on your report. Sovereign, Ascension machine, a true artificial intelligence. This news is quite alarming, if it turns out to be accurate.
Okay, now the Council is starting to irritate me, especially given the stakes of the situation and what we just went through to get their information.
Sovereign's real. The Reapers are real. Saren even admitted it.
He's playing you, Shepard. Saren still has contacts on the Citadel. He probably saw your earlier reports. The ones talking about your vision and the Reapers.
You're a fool. He has the same visions as us. It's his protein artifacts.
It's possible Saren is using false information to throw you off balance. Our own intelligence has never turned up any corroborating information.
I tried to warn you about Saren. You didn't believe me then, and look how that turned out.
I believe you humans have a saying. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
We have another one too. Kiss my ass.
Here's another saying. Go to hell.
Maybe we were wrong about you, Shepard. Maybe humans are too hot-headed to be specters.
Maybe the Council is too stupid to lead the galaxy.
Admirably so far. This discussion is only a minor disagreement.
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to take something I say on faith, Counselor.
Try to see this from our perspective, Commander.
I'm trying real hard.
It's a threat we can recognize. However, as far as we know, the Reapers only exist in your visions.
And we just nuked out the only proof we had with Ilos.
Trillions of lives. We cannot act on the accusations of a single person, even a Spectre. Not without solid evidence.
The Council cannot take any official action here. That is why we created the Spectres. You have the authority to act as you see fit.
If you truly believe Sovereign is the real threat, you must take whatever steps are necessary to stop it. And Saren.
Good luck, Commander. From all of us.
You see the Asari there as the one that's putting the Council in its place, too. The Solarian was quite on board with us, it seemed, in the end, but the Asari clearly is the head of the Council, right? She's dead in center, she's in the middle, she's the one talking over them, telling them to pipe down, because we've performed admirably, right? And the Solarian was surprisingly supportive of our current situation, and then you have, obviously, the Turian. He's not very happy with us. I'm sure he'd rather we just go away quietly now that we've done his dirty work, and Saren's on the run, as he would consider it. Yeah, I don't butt heads with the council as much as most people do in this game, but that conversation right there pisses me off. Like, we just lost so many men down there. We had to nuke a planet in order to save what piece of whatever could be salvaged from there, and unfortunately that happened to take care of the only evidence we could have had that would have proved Sovereign is an artificial intelligence. Why they won't take any of this on faith is beyond me. He has the Geth, he has all this technology all of a sudden, he got the drop on Nihilus, he cleaned Nihilus out, but they just don't believe that. It's still just a vision of a traumatized dock worker, like the Turian said at the very start of the game. That's still how they see humanity. He even had the balls to say that we don't have what it takes to be a Spectre, that he recruited us too early because of that little disagreement. Like I said, we also have another say, and he can kiss my ass. Anyways, now that all that's taken care of, we are going to have to go ahead and speak to the cast and crew, so this is a pretty good spot to wrap this on up for that. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.